Let's start in child's pose. So in your own time, bring your knees down to the mat. Keep them together or bring them apart, but bring your feet together. Hands can stretch out in front of you, pressing down through your palms for an active extended child's pose. And soften your shoulder blades down your back. Your affirmation for today's practice might be, I am loved and I am safe, or I'm learning to feel loved and safe. Now gently, in your own time, make your way to all fours. Hands are stacked directly under your shoulders, fingers are spread super wide. Knees are stacked under your hip points. See if you can create as much length between your tailbone and the crown of your head as possible. Your gaze might be down or just slightly forward. Now inhale as you draw your tailbone gently up and lower your belly. Exhale to draw your tailbone down, belly draws in. Inhale, look up, tailbone curls up. And exhale, tailbone curls down, and gaze between your knees. Now, in your own time, repeat this movement as smoothly as possible, moving with your breath. Now come back to a neutral spine and inhale to raise your right arm up and out to the side, trying to keep your hips and shoulders steady. Exhale, slide your right arm underneath your left with your palm facing up. You might let your right shoulder come to the mat, resting your right ear and cheek on the mat. You might work your left arm further forward. And note for Gemini, we're working on the shoulders today because that's the body part in Gemini's domain. Inhale to raise your arm back up and replace it to your mat as you exhale. Inhale, raise your left arm out to the side this time, create length, and exhale to slide your left arm under your right, palm face up. Again, coming onto your left shoulder, and right arm might move forward. This is a particularly restorative pose for those who tend to feel overloaded and overwhelmed with information, which Geminis often are. Inhale back to center, neutral tabletop position. Now spread your fingers super wide, index fingers facing forward, and curl your toes under. Raise your knees just an inch here for a breath, in and out. And on your next inhale, send your tailbone straight up and back for down dog. Bent knees are best to begin with. Work towards straightening your legs, but prioritize ease and length through your spine. And in your own time, gaze forward as you step your way to the top of the mat for a forward fold. Maybe sway a bit here from side to side, bending one knee and the other, and expanding through your upper back. In your own time, roll slowly up to standing, head and shoulders lift last. Now we'll do some sun salutations, modified first, followed by one with more advanced options. Inhale, bring your hands up to the sky, gazes up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, as you gaze forward, hands to your shins, halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step your right foot back, pause here. And exhale, step your left foot back, plank pose. Inhale, lower your knees to the floor. And exhale, lower your belly to the floor. Draw your shoulders down your back. Inhale, send your chest forward for baby cobra. And exhale to bend your knees and send your hips up and back to down dog. Bend your knees to create more length in your spine. Maybe start to work towards straightening them in your own time. Remember to take weight off your wrists by grounding down through your fingertips and knuckles, almost gripping the mat with your hands. On your next inhale, gaze forward and step up to the top of your mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, letting your head release. Inhale to raise back up, send your hands to the sky. And exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. And breathe here. Let's go again. So inhaling, your hands up to the sky, gaze is up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, gaze up. And exhale, step or hop back to plank pose. Inhale in plank. And exhale, lower to your knees and come to your bellies or take a chaturanga. Inhale to shine your heart forward for cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, bend your knees and send your hips up and back to down dog. And see what happens if you start to slow down your breath and deepen it further. Take weight back into your heels by bending your knees and sending your hips up and back. And let your neck relax. On your next inhale, bend your knees, gaze towards the top of your mat, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale to raise back up to standing, sending your hands to the sky. And exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. Inhale, bring your hands up and gaze up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, gaze forward, halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, send your right foot back. And from here, come onto your fingertips and see if you can broaden through your chest, creating as much space as possible between the front of your shoulders. On your next inhale, take your hands lightly to your front thigh and start to raise up using your core to stabilize you. Exhale here, and as you inhale, raise your hands up to the sky and gaze up. Exhale, swim your arms back down and behind you and see if you can clasp your hands together behind your back. If this is feeling a bit too much on the shoulders, you can hold a strap or a belt in each hand and work with arms further apart. And breathe here, shining your heart to the sky. And on your next exhale, lower your hands back to the floor. Inhale to look forward. And exhale, raise your back knee and send your right foot up to meet the front for forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, raise back up to standing. And exhale, hands to heart. Second side. Inhale, bring your hands up to the sky, gaze up. Exhale, fold forward, hinge at the hips. Inhale, gaze forward, halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step your left foot back. Come onto your fingertips as you create space and shine your heart forward. On your next inhale, send your hands lightly to the front thigh and start to rise up using your core to stabilize you. Exhale here. And as you inhale, raise your hands to the sky and gaze up. And exhale, swim your arms behind you and again, see if you can clasp them or take a strap or a belt, whatever feels better. Inhale here, shining your heart to the sky for a slight back bend. Try to draw your right foot back in space and your left knee forward. And on your next exhale, lower your hands to the floor. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, raise your back knee and send your foot up to meet the front for forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise back up to standing. And exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale, bring your hands to the sky and gaze up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step your left foot back and turn your left toes out to the side so the back edge of your back foot is parallel to the back edge of your mat. From here, slowly roll up to standing as you rotate to the long edge of your mat. And start to bend your right knee, and keeping the knee tracking the middle of your foot, moving towards the little toe side of your foot. Inhale to raise your arms out to the sides, palms down. Check to make sure you can still see your front big toe, your knee isn't going too far forward. And inhale as you ground down through the back edge of your back foot. Exhale, soften your shoulders down your back. And breathe here in Warrior Two, gazing past your right hand. From here, straighten your front knee and bring your right toes to face in the long edge of your mat. So both feet are parallel now, toes pointed forward. And bring your hands to your hips as you inhale. And exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Bring your hands to the mat and inhale to lengthen, as in a halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Keep your knees bent if your lower back feels a bit too uncomfortable. And let your weight shift forward towards your toes. No worries if or when your head touches the ground. There are no prizes for that. And just breathe here. On your next inhale, raise back up halfway. Exhale, take your hands to your hips. And inhale, raise slowly back up to standing. Now turn your left toes out to face the back of your mat and keep your hips turning forward. Inhale here and bend your left knee as you take Warrior Two on this side. Inhale, your arms out to a T, shoulders are soft, drawing away from your ears. And check in with your center point. Are you leaning forward too much? Most of the time, it's worth deliberately drawing your ribs back slightly towards your back heel. And breathe here. And from here, straighten your front knee and bring your left toes to face the long edge of your mat. Again, so both feet are parallel, toes pointed forward. Bring your hands to your hips as you inhale. And exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. And bring your hands to the mat. And inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold forward, letting your weight shift forward. Now start to walk your hands towards your left foot, keeping your hips as even as possible. Ideally, they won't budge here. Inhale and sweep your right arm up, maybe gaze up. And exhale it back down. Now walk your hands to the right foot and sweep your left arm up. And gaze up or down. And exhale back down and walk your hands back to center. Now start to heel toe your feet in towards the center of your mat as you bend your knees and lower gently to seated. Now make your way to all fours and bring your right knee into the center of your mat. Now bring your left knee around and behind your knee. And start to sit back. So both knees are stacked on front of each other. And support yourself with your hands, taking care with your knees. And keep your feet super active now, letting them draw out to the side. Actively draw your thighs towards each other. And don't worry if your knees don't stack perfectly on top of each other. You've got an option to keep your hands on your feet, or take your right arm up and bring it behind your head. Now bring your left arm behind your back, like you're trying to pass somebody a note. And see if your hands can meet each other, using your middle three fingers to hook onto each other. Alternatively, you can take a strap to hold onto with both hands. And breathe here. This is cow face pose. Now unwind your arms and bring your hands to the floor on your left-hand side. And keeping your feet pinned exactly where they are, start to crawl your hands around to the right-hand side of your mat. It's best not to think too hard about it and just do it and see where you wind up. Hopefully, you'll be in cow face pose on the other side. If not, no worries. Just take your left knee on top of your right knee and bring your feet out to the side, either keeping your hands on your feet or take your left arm up and take it behind your head. Now bring your right arm behind your back and see if your hands can meet each other using your middle 3 fingers to hook onto each other. And again, you can take the option to hold a strap or a belt or a sock. And breathe here. Now unwind and gently come to lie on your tummies, forehead to the mat, hands by your chest. And shuffle your hips back in space slightly. It tends to lengthen your spine and front body a bit more. Now clasp your hands together behind you, just above your tailbone. No worries if they don't clasp. If you've still got your strap handy, you can take that. You can also send your hands back just facing in towards each other. Now point your toes and press your legs together. Lift your kneecaps to engage your quad muscles. Inhale to lift your head, chest and shoulders off the mat, grounding down through the tops of your feet into the mat. This is snake pose. Use your upper back muscles to lift you and reach back in space with your hands. Exhale as you release your shoulders down your back. And inhale to create more length. Embrace your inner snake. And on your next exhale, slowly lower back down to the mat. Now simply flip your pancake as you come to lie flat on your back. Draw your right knee in as you keep your left leg pinned back down onto the mat. Inhale and really draw your right knee in, and exhale, bring it over to your left-hand side. You can take your arms out long or keep your left arm resting on your right leg for a deeper twist. Try to keep your right shoulder pinned down to the mat. Exhale back to center and slide your right leg out long and switch over so your left knee draws in. Inhale, draw your knee in, and exhale, bring it over to your right hand side. You can take your right hand to your left thigh for a deeper twist, maybe gazing over your left shoulder, making sure it's still on the mat. And when you're ready, let your feet come back to the mat and send your legs out long. Take your arms out by your sides for Shavasana. As you bring yourself to your final resting pose, releasing any energy that built up in your practice, I'll share a bit of wisdom about Gemini season, with the intention that you get to experience the best this time of year has to offer. The sun is in Gemini from May 21st to June 21st. And if your birthday's in that time, you know that you're a Gemini sun sign or star sign. And if Gemini is your sun sign, or maybe it's your rising sign, it's likely that you're chatty, explorative, and fascinated by just about everything. On a bad day, you may come across as a bit inconsistent and indecisive. Gemini's element is air, and the Ayurvedic type associated with it is Vata. The Vata dosha usually represents lightness and expansiveness. If you have a Vata constitution or imbalance, you want your yoga practice to embody qualities of warmth, stability, grounding, and focus, so that you can re-establish your natural state of health and well-being. I'll stop talking now and let you rest.